Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray, and if you come at the king, you best not miss.
And this is the news.
Story number one.
Indeed.
He's back, isn't he?
He's bloody
He's
back.
back. Do you want to know who's back?
Yes.
I'm not telling you.
Oh.
The second best big man in the business, Roman Reigns. He is returning to Monday Night Raw on this coming Monday, the 25th of February, to provide an update on his ongoing health situation. So, this was broken last night by WWE's official Twitter account. A whole host of people have since followed up on this. Guys like Triple H, Vince McMahon, Sasha Banks, even Curtis Axel. Pretty much everyone you can think of in wrestling tweeting tweets of encouragement to Roman, who obviously on October 22nd last year announced that his leukemia had returned and that we'd have to vacate the WWE Universal Championship and basically take care of himself. He had bigger matters than wrestling at hand. So the timing of this is quite interesting because we haven't really had much in the way of health updates on Roman.
No, you've just sort of seen the odd tweet from people and they've bumped into him randomly.
Basically, like Chris Jericho has said he's doing well, Seth Rollins has said he's doing well, Roman himself has said he's doing well, all very positive vibes. But he was recently filming action scenes for an upcoming movie with The Rock, fight scenes in fact, which suggests that perhaps he's doing all right in his recovery and stuff. Obviously, leukemia is a horrible, horrible illness. It would be totally wrong for us to speculate on what this announcement might be, but it's just positive. It's going to be good to see the guy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the main thing to take away from this. Don't expect that he's going to be announcing a return to the ring. All we can really hope for is an update on his condition, as he's obviously going to provide. And yeah, like you say, it'll just be nice to see him back in the WWE ring. Yeah,
I really miss the guy. Like, I really do. I miss having him around. Like, I didn't realise how much I missed him on WWE television until he was kind of out of the way. Like, I've always been a Roman Reigns fan, always have. Like, his presentation has sometimes been a bit wonky, but the guy, like, works really hard. The difference in him between 2018 and when he debuted is night and day. He's worked so hard to, like, improve his craft and stuff. He seems like a really great guy behind the scenes as well. So yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully, it's good news.
Yeah, we've always, we have a pop at Roman Reigns occasionally on some of our videos, but we never had a pop at him as a bad wrestler. He was just booked terribly.
Yeah, like none of his problems were ever his fault, and he's gonna get such a good pop on Monday.
Exactly. Get well soon, Roman. We look forward to seeing you on Monday night. Right, second news story, which isn't really news. Is it?
Speculation.
Well, it's less even that. It's just sort of something we kind of already knew, and that is that Vince McMahon and Triple H massively disagree on how the NXT stars should be handled. Basically, Triple H is a little bit pissed off with how Vince McMahon is handling some of his babies from NXT. Not a shock, this. Vince McMahon has just sort of cherry-picked them and tried to boost his reigns, which did work, to be fair, on Raw and SmackDown. But Triple H has nurtured these. He's suckled them to his breast. Oh. This has gone off the rails.
Yeah.
But he's not happy that, because I suppose he might be able to see where this is going once the NXT will go up to the main roster.
Yeah, so like according to Brad Shepard, who is a WWE insider on his Oh You Didn't Know podcast, interesting name, he's not
good name.
He reckons that Vince basically wants to prove Hunter wrong. So Triple H will like hype these guys up and say these guys are great, blah 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 blah, and he's like, we'll see about that, pal.
Oh god.
So he just kind of throws them into the deep end, which is what he did with the 4 call-ups this week. I just held up 3 fingers, so it's 4.
Tag match, so that counts as DIY there.
It's fine. So he kind of just like throws them in at the deep end, and if they swim, great. If they sink, well, it's like, told you so, pal, your little developmental pricks can't hang, or whatever. But all 4 of them did pretty well, didn't they?
Yeah, they're bloody brilliant.
Yeah, they're good wrestlers. So.
And the other guys that he just picked from presumably looking at their photos, one of whom is apparently going to be facing Asuka at WrestleMania. I still can't get my head around it.
Lacey Evans, the future of WWE. I don't know, man. That's a really weird situation, but. Yeah, I guess this is no real surprise. I mean, it kind of showed in Triple H's promo when he was introducing them on Raw. He looked kind of worried, and like he flubbed his lines a couple of times and stuff. And he was like, "Oh God, what's my crazy father-in-law going to do with these great guys?" But hey, maybe it'll pan out. Yeah. Who knows? Anyway, next story. Kofi Kingston, guy who's made one hell of an impact recently. The past week and a half, he has been on fire. Obviously, last week on SmackDown, the Gauntlet match, Elimination Chamber, he was great, and he picked up another pinfall over Daniel Bryan on this week's SmackDown. He'll now be facing Bryan for the WWE Championship at Fastlane. So there is kind of a lot of speculation as to where Kofi's heading, because this spot wasn't necessarily meant for him. It was meant for Mustafa Ali. He's just kind of grabbed it. And there were a few of us hoping that he might face Daniel Bryan for the title at WrestleMania, not Fastlane. Now, that might still happen. We know WWE loves a rematch. But when you read into their segment that they had on SmackDown this week with the New Day, they were all like, hey, I love my brothers and all this stuff, and they were all happy-go-lucky. And then you look at Big E's kind of sideways glance at the end of
Just a little bit, he's just like this, isn't he? He's just like, go on, mate.
Yeah, good for you, pal. There's a lot of speculation that there could be a New Day split. Brian Alvarez has put this together, friend of the channel, Brian Alvarez. Tell him what happened, Dave. And he reckons that the match for WrestleMania will not be Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. Instead, Daniel Bryan will face a returning star. Kofi Kingston will face Big E.
What's Xavier Woods going to be doing? Special guest referee?
Trombone, probably.
Trombone, musical accompaniment.
Yeah. But that's interesting. So the implication there would be that the tease that was at the end of Elimination Chamber, coupled with the overly friendly segment on SmackDown, it has to be said, may lead to a turn perhaps at Fastlane, leading to a singles match between the two.
It would be a really good turn in terms of getting heat for Big E, because you saw the reaction when Kofi was pinned at Elimination Chamber. A lot of people argued maybe he should have won the WWE Championship then. If he was this close, if he just put Daniel Bryan down with the Trouble in Paradise and then Big E costs him and turns heel, people have been looking about a New Day split for a long, long time now. And a kind of akin to the Shield splitting, this would be the perfect catalyst, I think. As much as I don't really want to see it, I love those three together.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to see it either, but I think it would be a really good match. Big E would get great heat. I would worry about him as a heel going forward because I think Big E is really compelling as this weirdo babyface. He is a weird guy. And I'm not too sure that splitting up one of your biggest merch shifting units is a great idea. I know a lot of people have had enough of the New Day. I'm not one of them, and they do make money. But it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. Obviously, this is just Mr. Alvarez putting two and two together. We're not reporting it as fact or anything, so please don't make that mistake. They will make that mistake. That's what the comment section does, but hey-ho.
Hey, if Kofi isn't having a WWE Championship match at WrestleMania, that is, in my opinion, the second best thing. Final news story of the day concerns Matt Hardy. You may have seen a lot of photos of him doing the rounds on the internet. He's been tweeting loads, and he revealed the other day, well, as of today, he has 10 days left on his WWE contract.
Remember this?
Yeah, no, not anymore. He has 10 days left on his WWE contract and seemed to be hinting in tweets that he's happy leaving the, quote, safe zone.
Alexandria safe zone. Yeah, that's interesting.
He's looking great. I'd like to see him still do something in WWE.
Yeah, have you seen the shape this guy's in, by the way? Check his Instagram. He's ripped. It's outrageous. I mean, that just kind of goes to show how grueling WWE is and how difficult it is to stay in, really ripped shape on the road when you're Matt Hardy, who's, 59 years old. This is pretty interesting, I think, because Hardy's obviously been on the shelf for a while. He's been tweeting a lot of positive stuff with regards to his health and so forth lately. I would imagine that he'll probably re-sign with WWE. It seems like a nice thing for him to ease into, a semi-retirement type role. But the broken universe in AEW.
He'd be given far more creative control, wouldn't he?
He would.
And he certainly wouldn't be introduced with Michael Cole saying, yeah, whatever this bollocks is, no idea.
Yeah, lol, what was that? Sounds boring, lol. It's going to be interesting. I think I wonder if perhaps the Broken Universe has maybe just ran out of steam because there's not much of a clamour for the Woken thing to make its back. Obviously, there was the House of Hardy Halloween special, loads of fun, but they haven't really looked like producing any further content on that. It almost feels like WWE kind of sucked the life out of that meme when they brought it in. But Matt is such a creative guy. He's such a personality that he could probably make it work.
I think whatever happens, whether he goes to AEW and continues to wrestle, whether he goes to AEW in more of a backstage capacity, or as you suggested, and I think this would be the best option for him, a little bit of both still in WWE. Majority sort of backstage production role, but then occasionally coming back for the odd feud at a big pay-per-view, let's say. It's something I'd love to see. Yeah. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions today. Don't forget you can tweet them at us across the weekend if you fancy. Anything that pops into your head at WhatCulture WWE. Let's start with the first question that comes from Mrs. Walker. Mrs. Walker, hello, says, hi guys, of the current crop of NXT and NXT UK superstars, who do you predict will be the first to win a major title on the main roster? That's Universal, WWE Championship or Women's. P.S. Hello from New Zealand.
Of all the recent calls.
New Zealand, sorry, I should have said.
That was interesting. Wow, that's quite tough actually, because I think the one who made the most impression certainly this past week was probably Ricochet. Really got over in his 2 matches, looked great. However, I think his main roster prospects are significantly worse than everyone else because the guy can't talk. Out of that group, I mean, it's a really easy option, but probably Tommaso Ciampa. Like, he's an outstanding wrestler. He is the best character of that group. He is the best talker of that group. His heel work has been exceptional, and I think someone like Vince would be really drawn to that, even though he's like smaller than Vince's preferred like top line star. I would say him. Other than that, I don't really know. I mean, I could see like a Gargano taking like the cruiserweight title, but that's not.
Yeah, I think at the end for NXT guys, I think I could see Ricochet getting an IC title or US title, but I can't see him coming in and immediately going for like a WWE or a Universal Championship. So I'm going to go for a shock call-up and a shock win. And for me, I keep banging on about this every single show we do, it seems, either Matt Riddle, or if you really want a shock and someone just comes in and just tears through people, Walter. Just imagine coming in, chopping the crap out of everyone's chest. Right, let's move on. Let us know your thoughts on that in the comments, by the way. Let's move on to Timothy Banks, who says, do you think WWE will bring back managers like in the 80s? Jimmy Hart, Bobby Heenan, Slick, and Mr. Fuji all had stables. I think it would work great in today's WWE.
I think it would work fantastic. It's a classic wrestling trope. It's a proven formula that works. It can get guys over who can't necessarily get themselves over with their acting and their talking. I do not think they'll do it, unfortunately. It's just the past couple of decades, the trend has shifted away from that for whatever reason. WWE just hate managers and valets. They just do. Like, how many times have they messed Rusev and Lana around in acts who are really complete together? When Andrade came up with Zelina Vega, it looked like for a while they wanted to turn Zelina into the blooming singles wrestler, and Andrade be just some kind of weird psychic. I would love to see it. I think there are so many talented, charismatic managers out there that they could bring in. We were just talking about Chael Sonnen in the office there and how good he'd be as a wrestling manager. I just don't think they'll do it, looking at trends.
I agree. I'd love to see it. And even if, Lesnar goes away after Mania and you just give someone else to Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be there's so many people out there. I remember pitching, because I assumed that Lesnar was going to drop the title and leave after last year's WrestleMania. I was sat there saying, I think he could, if he managed Shinsuke, that'd be amazing. Obviously, that boat has sailed a long time ago, but I think there's a hell of a load of people in there who do brilliantly for, but I can't see them bringing anyone else up as managers or having stables. Just look how long they went. Yeah, can't be asked with Leo Rush. What, like 2 months, was it?
Yeah,
anyway.
Something like that.
Pancho Badiola, I hope I got that right, has sent us our final question today. Really like this. Should WWE include the NXT roster in the Superstar Shake-Up?
Oh, interesting. Yes, they should. And it should be a two-way street.
I was going to say this, yeah.
Yeah, so they should be able to bring people up, as they have done in recent shake-ups. And they should also be able to send derelict people who are not really doing anything on the main roster back down there. We've spoken about this a couple of times. I just think it's a really good idea to freshen things up.
Yeah, I think the Raw and SmackDown after Mania, you can have the odd surprise. I think that's sort of mandatory. Fans expect that. Certainly we're going to the Raw after WrestleMania. If there isn't any surprises, I'm going to be pissed off. But yes, if they do include NXT in it, I think you have to paint it as not necessarily a demotion for people going to NXT, but imagine, we've pitched like Dolph Ziggler going there before. Imagine just saying like, oh my God, what are they going to do when Dolph Ziggler, this highly experienced, this veteran of WWE goes to NXT. And as an excuse to bring people up through NXT rather than just going, as we've seen Vince McMahon going, like the look of him, like the look of her. Have it a call-up thing, and speculation can run wild, and then there's arguably more of a justification if you're within kayfabe for people who are arguably less experienced to be picked, and you can sort of allocate people correctly to different brands.
Totally agree.
All right, let's move on to today's, and finally, it's Friday. We've had a long week. We all just want to see a photo and laugh at it, and preferably a photo of someone who's in a position of power that you can laugh at. That's all our favourite. Have you ever had a photo taken with your favourite wrestler?
No, I have not. I've never met Tomohiro Ishii.
One day. Well, it's lovely when you get to meet your favourite wrestler and get a photo. I'm sure loads of fans out there have got their photo up on the wall with their favourite wrestler. I remember when we got to meet Rey Mysterio, I was so happy. There's a beaming photo of me somewhere on the internet meeting Rey. Imagine if you not only got to meet Triple H, but Stephanie McMahon was there too. It would be a photo you'd treasure, a photo that you'd post all over the internet, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, not if it looks like this. You see, this is a rather infamous photo. I just wanted to share it for today.
I haven't seen this in ages.
Triple H stood with a bloke wearing a t-shirt with the Rock of Mankind on it, and Stephanie McMahon,
They're hanging out.
I'm going to say, in a compromised position.
Yeah, what a classic. A classic from the archives.
Send us your favourite. I did a gallery on this a while back on WhatCulture.com.
You don't get this kind of content anywhere else.
Send us your best wrestler fan photos on Twitter, because I love seeing them. You can tweet them at us at WhatCultureWWE. And whilst you're on Twitter, you can follow both of us. You can follow him at
Andy H. Murray.
You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. You can follow our wonderful editor at It's Adam Nicholas. And let us know your thoughts on all of today's news stories in the comments section below. And while you're there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out our new wrestling podcast by searching for What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes or Spotify. My thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend, and we will see you soon.
Pints.
Pints.
Pints.